What up?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third issue of Why Am I a Nerd presents Yo, What Up Comics, where each and every week we get together to talk all things comics. From old to new, fan theories to what ifs, we got you covered. I'm Cameron James, and with me, as always, the golden voice of podcasting, Mr. Matt Pereira.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. What's up, dude?
Not too much, man. I actually had something a little interesting to bring to kick things off today.
Well, can I kick something off better first?
Oh, yeah. So, no, after
you look like
you.
You look like you're going to talk shit about Batman, and I have a feeling that...
I mean, I might have a little bit. It's not me personally talking shit about Batman. It's just some things that I've come across that I found to be very humorous that I thought would be good to share with you since you're such a big fan of the Caped Crusader.
True. I mean, Spider-Man's a bitch. But before we get into that, I want to introduce everybody to the new guy that's joining the squad.
The new team member, the newest Avenger.
The Italian himself, Anthony Valenti. What up, dude?
What's up, boys?
If everyone wants to know what he looks like, hold on. I got a good one for you. He's on my shirt.
That's my mugshot.
Happy to have you on board, bro.
Yeah, he's going to be joining the crew. He's going to be doing this show, a bunch of other shows, The Fourth and One, which will be coming up later with Sean, which he's probably going to come storming down at some point during this thing, but that's cool. But, all right, what do you want to make fun of me about?
So, I don't know if you're aware, but Batman's actually been getting dragged on Twitter recently. And some of these were so funny that I had to save them and make sure I can share them with you. So I'm just going to read a few off. I'm going to cite whoever read them, so apologies if I mess up your names at all.
Now, be careful, because we have a sad story to talk about later. So make sure you tread this lightly.
I'll do the best I can. So give me a second, just to start off here. At Jimmy Fallon, said, y'all wouldn't even fuck with Batman if he was a real person. If Elon Musk took some Taekwondo classes, put on a suit, and was driving around NYC beating the shit out of weed dealers and henchmen, y'all would riot. Oh, we got another one. List of Batman's enemies. Oh, sorry, this one's from Hassan Ishmael. List of Batman's enemies. A penguin, a lizard, a clay pot, a clown, a guy with asthma, and a t-shirt with bad jokes.
Wait, who's the t-shirt?
Riddler.
Oh, come on.
He's got bad jokes.
That's... Yo. I got that. These people, we're going to welcome them on this damn show.
This one's from @JustinTarnation. Iron Man flies around the world battling threats that he realistically shouldn't be able to handle alone. Batman sleeps all day while Gotham rots and then puts on a cape and beats up locals with mental illnesses.
Wait, time out. Have you seen the Batman Lego movie?
Yes.
What's the password?
Actually. Oh, I don't remember that part.
I think it's Iron Man sucks. Or Iron Man stinks. Or something like that. It's like Iron Man sucks.
It's great.
You got one more. I'm tired of this I've
got three more. I think I got three more. Batman's sitting in the Batcave waiting for the streets to be plowed if it snows in Gotham.
I'm not finding amusement in these anymore, my friend.
Great. Oh, you don't think they're funny?
Fuck you.
What if I say them like this?
Okay, try it.
All right, so this one's someone replying. Iron Man over Batman and also hands over it. And the guy, AMZilla22 said, man, this is truth. If you lock Batman out of the Batcave, he ain't nothing but Mark Cuban.
Fuck you. And fuck whoever that guy is. Tell him who's coming on the show.
Oh, shit. All right, I got three more. I'm sorry. I got three more that I'm done.
You had three ago.
I know, it's true. But sorry, it's really three more now. Batman lock his keys in the Batmobile. Alfred on vacation. Gotham is on fire.
You got one more. You better make it good.
You want me to go
I don't
with
want
the
to
good
hear
one?
the other one.
I'll go with the good one. This one gets me every time.
I can tell.
This is from JLP Online. Batman puts you in the hospital, then Wayne Corp ups your insurance premium.
So anyway, we got a bunch of great stuff on the shelf today, but before we get into that, we just want to remind you can follow us on Instagram at YMINerdOfficial, Facebook.com/YMINerd, and YouTube.com/a bunch of weird-ass fucking symbols and shit because we're still not verified.
So head on over to YouTube and subscribe so we can get a real URL, please. Please?
Yeah, because this is annoying doing weird subscription shit. So, but anyway, I'm going to kind of differ from the script a little bit today. So I found out about 2 hours before going live, Dennis O'Neil died today. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he died today. If anyone doesn't know who Dennis O'Neil is,
Really?
he's pretty much the man who who recreated Batman. He brought Batman the darker side. I got this from Chris Arendt over at Games Radar. So Dennis J. Denny O'Neil has died at the age of 81. As confirmed by his family, the legendary comic book writer died at his home of natural causes the night of June 11th. O'Neil is best known for his work as Batman, which included writing Batman Detective Comics and Batman Legend of the Dark Knight, as well as editing DC's Batman's title from 1986 to 2000. He and editor Julius Schwartz and artist Neil Adams are credited for guiding the Dark Knight back to the darker roots after a period of campiness brought on the success of the 1960s Batman TV show. So he also came up with a bunch of, was the creator and co-creator of a bunch of the villains as well. Ra's al Ghul, Talia al Ghul, Leslie Tompkins, Azrael, and Richard Dragon.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So he also...
I didn't realize he had that far-reaching of a reach. That actually is pretty sad to hear.
He revolutionized the Joker and Two-Face as modern DC villains and oversaw the death of Jason Todd, who's the second Robin, which no one knows that. Well, I just spoiled the shit out of that for you.
Wow.
So I thought that was pretty weird. I mean, I was kind of blown away. Is that right? Blown off?
Blown away.
Blown off sounds,
yes.
My girlfriend's on the table or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that was kind of a shock to me. I mean, he also wrote Superman versus Muhammad Ali, which I did not read, and I
have not
probably
read
not
that.
going to read that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really come up with something that... I mean, he was also involved with...
It's like one issue anyway.
He was also involved with Marvel. He wrote for Amazing Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Daredevil. He was actually one that brought in, if I'm correct here, Frank Miller to take over the Daredevil title. So... After you just bashed Batman for the past fucking 5 minutes, you got.
Well, I'm just saying, if he gets locked out of the Batcave and Alfred is on vacation, that's an issue.
Well, I mean, I guess rest in peace,
No, seriously.
Dennis
rest in
O'Neil.
peace.
So again,
Sorry to hear that.
yeah, I mean, as a Batman guy, and like I said last week, I was reading the Legend of the Dark Knight series, which gotta read it. I don't know what the hell that was. I guess
Yeah, that was.
some creepy stuff.
We
going
have
on. That
really
sounds
good
good, whatever.
microphones. That might be Batman breaking in to beat me up after everything I said.
Yeah, I really hope so. But anyway, I mean, today's show, we're going to be talking about Kraven's Last Hunt.
Story of a true hero with Spider-Man right at the cover.
That's actually not a Spider-Man story, though, and I'll go into detail about that in a
I
second.
actually agree with you on that.
All right, we're
But
on
yeah.
the same page. Why killing off characters is not the way to go. And this is an interesting one that just came about. So DC is ending Shazam after 15 issues, which is weird to me because Shazam just came out in the movie theaters.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
it
when did
wasn't
that
a
come out?
terrible movie either. It's one of their better attempts at a film. But comic sales are kind of weird these days. You know, it's if they don't get like a good enough return on it, people. I'm actually curious as to how that's working. That's something we should explore. Is how sales are being affected by the whole pandemic crisis right now.
Yeah, that would be interesting. What do you got for me, Ant?
Shazam came out 2019.
So that movie just came out last year. Did really well. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, it was okay. I like the angle they went with it, but I wasn't like in love with it. It was okay though. It was good what it was.
Okay, so I don't mean this in any sort of bad way. Anyone that likes the Marvel movies aren't for me either. They're to me, Marvel movies are popcorn superhero action flicks.
Gotcha. Where you want the why did you say that name? You want the
I want the
well-written.
dreary, the depressing, the sad, darker stuff. And that
No, I get what you're
Shazam
saying.
was kind of like that. It definitely felt more of a
It was more of a Marvel.
movie.
It was more of a. It's funny because if you look at those films, typically more of the action in Marvel movies takes place during the day, and typically more of the action in DC movies takes place at night, which I think is kind of funny because it is so
except the
indicative
entire
of,
Dark Knight Rises film.
Okay, I'll give you that one. But I was talking about the DCEU.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess you're right. I mean, Aquaman happens underwater, so that's definitely.
Yeah, I mean, there's some scenes during Aquaman, but Aquaman was
yeah.
also a good movie, so some of it took place during the day.
Shazam actually, I think, scored better. And if you can get me that too, which scored better, Aquaman or Shazam? I think Shazam scored better than Aquaman, believe it or not. And
Really? People
Aqu-
loved Aquaman. I mean, it was
All right.
Jason Momoa though.
I was
yeah.
gonna say timeout. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. Again, Aquaman to me, I couldn't connect to it.
You know what? I liked it more than I thought I was going to. I went
can
into
see
that
that.
movie thinking like, it's just gonna be Khal Drogo doing. So I was like, this actually isn't bad. It's like you kind of wanted to get a beer with him. You know, I felt the same way watching that, honestly, as I did with like Thor. Not as much as Thor. I love Thor Ragnarok. That's one of my favorite movies.
I will give that was my favorite. That was
yeah.
my favorite Marvel movie in that entire.
Yeah.
However, what, 30, 25 movies.
something like that. Like 20. There's a lot. Actually, it might be closer to 20. I'm not sure.
Was it?
It's something we have to look up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know, like I said, I know DC just wrapped up the. What you got for me?
All right, we got Aquaman coming in on Rotten Tomatoes, 65% tomato meter with a 74% audience score. Shazam coming in hot with 90% tomato meter and 82% audience score.
Okay.
Which is weird for me because Shazam to me, again, please don't kill me for saying this. I think he came before Superman. There's a very
I don't know. There's a chance.
There's a chance he was before Superman.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I think they've always said like who's stronger, Shazam or Superman?
It's always going to end up being Superman just for the fact that Superman's the supposed to be the pinnacle of superheroes. Like, you know what I mean? He's always got the shenanigan strength.
Well, I mean, I just finished watching The Death of Superman over on DC Universe.
Oh, that's a good one.
It was interesting. I read the book a while ago.
Yeah, they definitely changed a lot of details from the book, but I think some of it made it interesting. I think it's the second half of that movie I did not love. The first half I was a big fan of, though.
Really? I kind of thought. I mean, well, the last 30 minutes of it is just him fighting Doomsday for.
Well, yeah, there's a
literally-
second part to it, though.
Oh, the Reign of Superman.
The Reign of the Superman is the second part. Like, that one I didn't love, but the first half, I mean, and Doomsday is terrifying in that movie.
I thought, you know what's funny? You see Doomsday in that, and then you see Doomsday in Dawn of Justice, and you're like, what went
Yeah,
wrong?
they were just like, well, what if he was just a Ninja Turtle? Like, I don't know what they were thinking.
And what?
In Dawn of Justice.
He kind of reminded me of the that stupid ass thing from the Green Lantern movie.
Oh, Parallax? Where you couldn't really make out what he was half the time. He was just like a yellow fart. Yeah.
I mean, that was definitely not a. Again, everyone knows. If you haven't seen Green Lantern,
Don't
see it.
see it.
Go for it.
Don't see it unless you're playing a drinking game.
Go
to it,
100%.
honestly.
I was last night in bed, man. We talked about this before. I was sitting there. I was like, should I watch Steel? Should I do it?
No, you should not. I mean, it drives, and I love Shaq. Shaq's one of my favorite athletes all time. I'll probably bring him up on the next 4th and 1. But his armor in that movie is basically just leather. It's completely absurd.
He looks like,
it's
he looks like
even try.
RoboCop.
He looks like a terrible version of RoboCop. He looks like he's cosplaying RoboCop. Like, it's absolutely
We talked
awful.
about that last episode, like bad casting, or
Yeah.
the first episode.
Yeah, that was first episode.
I mean, that definitely nailed it, I have to say. But let's get into the comic book, the graphic novel of the day, Kraven's Last Hunt. Matt, tell us.
All
Give me
right.
something about it.
So, Kraven's Last Hunt is a comic book storyline written by J.M. DeMatteis and Mike Zeck. Came out in 1987, and it features the final battle between Marvel Comics characters Kraven the Hunter and the illustrious, amazing, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Considered one of the greatest Spider-Man stories of all time, it was originally published in Web of Spider-Man 31 and 32, The Amazing Spider-Man 293 and 294, and Spectacular Spider-Man 131 and 132.
So I got
drop it.
gripes when graphic novels and stuff do this. So
You know what's really funny is I looked up I can explain why this happened. But go
well,
ahead.
because it happened in the Batman Rebirth. They did Monsters of Men or something like that. I think Monster of the Man. I forget the name of it because it was not for me. You have to read like Nightwing, 2 issues of Nightwing, 2 issues of Suicide Squad. It's like, why not just put it together? Like, what if I don't read all those
books,
Then,
yeah.
then you're and how does it
Which-
tie in?
I guess it was a little bit easier for them to do stuff like that in the 80s. I think we discussed this in one of the past episodes where I personally think it helps boost the sales, and that's why they did stuff. But funny enough, in doing some of my research about Kraven's Last Hunt, it turns out, I think I saw this on Wikipedia, that
Number one source.
that the publishers didn't think it made sense to have Spider-Man die in one book when he had 3 titles. So, like,
Spoilers. We forgot.
oh well, yeah. Sorry. Assume everything is spoilers from here on out. I'm sorry. Maybe we can bleep that out or something.
No,
I
fuck
don't
that. I'll put the spoiler prior.
know. But yeah, so apparently they didn't think it made sense, so they ran it across 3 storylines. But when J.M. DeMatteis wrote it, he was like, "This can honestly be a standalone. It could be like a separate graphic novel. I'm not paying attention to basically his previous lineage, other than the fact that he's married to Mary Jane now."
Which, as we said in the beginning of the show, this is not. I don't care what anyone says. This is not a Spider-Man.
I actually fully
graphic
agree
novel.
with you. He's not even in it that often.
No.
Spider-Man, like, is, I think in like what, the first and last issue, maybe the last 2 issues.
And the last issue is pretty bad. I'm sorry. After, spoiler, Craven shoots himself in the head.
Yeah, yeah,
And he goes
it pretty
fighting Vermin.
Yeah.
It's like, bro.
That's like that didn't really need to happen. Like it's like you said, it's a very Craven centric story, and it's a good send off to the character. And something else that I learned in my readings that you might be interested in, DeMatteis originally conceived of the villain burying his enemy for Joker and Batman. And it was something where he thought it would finally make the Joker sane, but they hated it at DC. And then he tried it with another character and didn't work. And then he got to Marvel and he was looking through the universe of characters like, oh, this could work for Craven and Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, really? He got
Yeah.
that? I didn't know that.
It was.
That is
I think
something
the
new.
story where he goes sane was eventually published by DC. I would have to
Craven?
look that back
Who?
up.
We're talking about Joker?
No, the story where Joker kills Batman and buries him. I think that was published in a side story. I can look that up and bring it back.
I never read that. And I've
Yeah, I
watched
didn't
that.
either. I didn't know about it until I did the research, to be honest with you.
That's an interesting storyline because, like you said, Craven does quote kill Batman, not Batman,
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man,
yeah.
which you find out he just gets like tranquilized for
Which, like, for
two di-
2 weeks.
Yeah,
For
let's
2
say.
weeks, he's down
Underground.
there. So, like, let's really just think about that for a second. Because he's buried underground. He's buried under spiders, a bunch of other stuff, which sucks. I don't know how he's breathing, first of all. Like, I can understand, like, he probably needs less oxygen to operate his body than the rest of us, but whatever, fine.
because they
So
don't.
he's-
They'd never explain
They
what
never
Craven
explain
hits
that.
him with.
But also, like, imagine waking up just covered in 2 weeks of your own excrement underground. I'd be absolutely livid.
That's piss and shit to anyone that doesn't know what that means.
That's true. That is true. I mean, he could have thrown up too. He hasn't eaten it in God knows how long. I would be absolutely out of my mind, outraged at the fact, especially because I lost 2 weeks. Like, are you kidding me? I've got paychecks I didn't pick up. I'm probably fired from my job. Like, I had a bunch of stuff going on. He's married in this book. His wife probably thinks he's off cheating on her.
Oh, wait,
Like,
isn't this the one? They don't even like acknowledge that. They're just like, oh yeah, he's not here.
what do you mean?
Like him
With-
being gone.
Oh yeah,
This
it's,
is it,
it's
like-
one of those things where it's just like it's something that would never happen in this day and age. Like, this is a very 80s story in the sense that you can kind of get away with that. Like, now it'd just be like somebody calling his phone.
Yeah.
Just ringing in his pocket and be like,
It
oh no, I'm
was-
sorry, I was dead for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because pretty much the pretty much the plot. I would say the underlying
Yeah, it's
plot
actually- we
is
should
when
probably
no, it's. I mean, I'm
review
saying
the
like
plot.
what I want to say is like it goes back. This story is more about like obsession. Like
Yeah.
he's obsessed that he can't win.
Well, it's because at this point, like, Craven starts off and he realizes he's nearing the end. Like, he's not at his peak. He's still strong as shit and fast as shit. Like, animal level speeds. I think at one point it said something like he might be as strong as like a gorilla or something
Who?
like that. Craven. Apparently that's his strength comparison. He's
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of weird. That
Yeah.
movie, you know what would be interesting, not to cut you off? This movie would be really
I think this would be a great
trippy.
movie. Yeah.
If they did it right.
Well, that's the thing too. That's actually exactly what I was about to get into. So Craven decides the one thing he hasn't completed in his life is defeating Spider-Man. He's lost to his hands multiple times. So he essentially gets rocked on drugs. Like, he takes all those jungle potions and whatnot, conceives of this whole plot to hunt Spider-Man down, shoots him, buries him, then puts on his costume and goes around massacring criminals. At one point, he actually saves Spider-Man's wife, and she's like, who the hell are you?
Yeah.
Like, and then he actually beats a guy, not, I wouldn't say easily, but he uses his hunting skills to beat a guy that Spider-Man needed help to beat from Captain America previously. And that's, kind of ties into things later. This character, Vermin, who's basically just a sewer rat.
Yeah, he's and that too. I kind of felt like he probably didn't need to be in. They probably could have gotten away with it without him.
They could have gotten away with it without him, but it made sense because Craven was just like, it was Craven's way of showing I'm better at everything than you. I'm even better at being you than you are.
Yeah, and I guess too, because when Spider-Man finally comes out of the grave, I guess you can
Yeah.
essentially say, he confronts Craven for the first time. Craven's like, "Fuck you, bro."
Yeah, he's
I'm
like,
out.
we're done. He's like,
see you
we're
later."
done. This is over. He's like, I already proved myself. Which, if I was Spider-Man, I'd been like, no, because I beat you like 67 times before this. This
Yeah.
is the first time you beat me. You can't go 1 in 67 and then retire. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that-
going to kick your ass right now.
Yes, that was kind of weird. I thought. I mean, again, as someone said I forget who had said it before. It was the 80s. It was the 90s. Like in the 80s and 90s, like you can get away with stuff more then than now because, like you said before, cell phones, all this other mumbo jumbo. Like, it's weird that, again, it makes sense to that time frame. But I think if you were to listen to it now, or if you were to read that now, if it was to be written now, it wouldn't work.
Oh no, it wouldn't. It would have to be done very differently.
Because then he even does the one part where after Craven pretty much says like, nah, fuck you, like I ain't gonna do this. He releases Vermin, pretty much says to Spider-Man, go chase him. See you later. Craven then ends up going, if I have this in my notes right, just goes back to his wherever the hell he's staying. Is it in a church? Isn't he in a church?
I'm not sure what it is. It's weird. But he goes back to where he's staying and pretty much just decides, well, I got nothing left to do, and kind of offs himself.
Yeah.
Not kind of. He
But
very much so does.
But when he does that, you're like, okay, the book should have ended there. It should have been over.
Agree.
And
That
that's
should have
why I
been the
said
end.
I think the Vermin thing was completely, unnecessary.
No, I mean I think it made sense because it even showed like you do see another aspect of Spider-Man there where he's like, all right, as mad as I am at you for burying me for 2 weeks and taking me away from everything, I've got to stop this guy because he's a threat to people and like I have the power and responsibility to stop him. So I think it was, it kind of showed a little bit of his character. I get what you're saying. They shouldn't have continued after Craven kills himself.
It should
Like
be over.
that should have been the last issue. I do agree with that.
I
But I
don't
do
think-
think Vermin had some necessary. He provided a necessary role to the story.
I mean, he kind of felt bad for the guy.
Vermin or Craven?
Vermin.
Oh yeah, 100%. This guy is just trying to eat garbage, live in the sewer, mind his own business, evade Pickle Rick, and he's just getting his ass beat all the time.
I mean, I liked Craven in this a lot.
Yeah,
I thought-
honestly, you endear yourself to Craven. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
no, no. I was saying I liked him a lot. I liked him way better than Spider-Man. Awkward. But no, I mean, it's just like I thought if someone said to me, "What's your favorite Spider-Man, graphic novel?" I don't think I could say this because
Because it's a
feel.
Craven story. Yeah, I get that.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense to me, actually. Yeah, I would honestly, I kind of agree with you on that because it's Spider-Man on the title. It's Spider-Man, cover. Which actually, fun fact, the cover for the 4th issue was the first one drawn for the book.
That one?
Yeah,
That was the 4th issue?
I'm pretty sure it's a 4th issue. Don't see now you're making me second guess myself. Like I had my notes all memorized. But apparently when Zach was looking at everything, that was the artist. He read the entire review and he was like, I've got to draw this cover first. Like it was a no-brainer to him that he was like, you have a superhero who dies and comes back, like you've got to have him bursting out of the grave.
I mean, it's.
It makes sense. Like it's I couldn't really. Can't
I mean,
fault him on that.
I could segue this perfectly into the next topic, but I'm gonna hold off on that real fast and say.
Yeah.
So then, would you consider Maximum Carnage a Spider-Man story? We talked about this the first issue. If everyone has not checked out the first issue here, go
Maximum
back to podcast and check it out.
Carnage is
Not a Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
story.
No, it is, but it's also a Venom story and it's also a Carnage story. It's kind of like it's a what do they call that when you have 3 characters? There's a technical word for it that's
Triplets?
escaping me. It's not triplets. It's like a tritagonist, I think.
Tripod.
I think it's a tritagonist. They're tritagonists.
Ant,
and
you on that?
Spider-Man's a main character. Spider-Man's a main character. He's got his own arc. Venom's a main character. He's got his own arc. Carnage is a main character, and he's got his own arc. And all 3 of their stories intertwine and are told in different ways. And at one point, you see all of their perspectives. So I wouldn't say it's just a Spider-Man story, but I would argue that it's also a Venom story and it's also a Carnage story.
If you had to take one to an island with you, which one are you taking? Craven's Last Hunt or Maximum
Oh
Carnage?
my god! I thought you meant like one character to an island with him, like Spider-Man. Why the hell would I go to an island with Carnage or Venom? I was like, I don't want to go.
I mean, I'd go to an island with the Punisher.
No, I wouldn't want to go to an island with
Fuck
the Punisher.
that,
The
he's
guy's
the
sitting there
man.
nuts all the time, cleaning guns, talking about war stories. I would not want to sleep next to the
Bro,
Punisher.
I'm
on an island.
hungry. I got you.
Yeah, he's literally got you. He's gonna cut your leg off and eat it. The guy's insane.
Which I got some good Punisher shit coming in this week that we got
I'm
coming in
pumped
the
for that.
mail. Anyway, which one are you taking with you? Craven's Last Hunt or
I'm
Maximum
probably
Carnage?
taking Maximum Carnage because
Really?
it's longer. Just because it's longer. If I'm going to be stuck on a desert island with one thing to read, I'm probably going to break it up. I might read one issue here, take a break, dig a little hole to poop in, make a fire, hunt down a coconut or something to eat. Then maybe read another issue a week later so I can just space it out since I don't know when I'm going to get rescued. Or if, God forbid I'm there for too long of a time, then that paper could have other
Toilet paper?
uses.
Jerk off in it, some weird shit. I don't
What?
know.
What the fuck?
I don't know. Didn't you,
I was honestly thinking
time out.
fire starter.
No way, bro. Because the first issue, you said, "Yo, when I was
That
a
is
kid,
true.
you
That
know, I
is
used to
true.
get a hard on to."
No. I said I was waiting for a titty to pop out.
It's
We
the
can
same
go back
damn
to- It's
thing.
not the same
It's the same
damn
thing.
thing. As a young child, I was very impressionable.
It was a
And
comic
she was
book.
drawn damn near naked. I'm not even ashamed. Not even ashamed. Everyone look it up. Everybody go on Google right now and type in Black Cat Maximum Carnage 90s. You're welcome.
Anyway, so second thing on the shelf today, killing off characters. Is it the way to go? And now this comes back from what we talked about last week with. So Ruby Rose is exiting CW's Batwoman ahead of its second season. A new report may reveal that her character Kate Kane will not be written off the show, as we previously mentioned on last week's episode. According to Direct, Kate Kane will be killed off in season 2 of Batwoman. I'm sorry. That will pave way for a new character who's right now is being named Ryan Wilder to take the mantle of Gotham's red-headed protector. Now, here's the weird thing. 2 days later, they confirm that Rose's character is not going to be killed off, and she just disappears, and that's the plot of the second season.
Okay. Sorry.
So a couple things I have with this that I think is kind of weird is, one, you're going to release that she's getting killed off, then 2 days later, yeah, no, that's false. So who the fuck's the asshole that's not paying the fuck attention should get fired? Then, when they were casting this, the recasting of Ryan Wilder, I remember reading an article somewhere. They were heavy on making sure that whoever they recasted was involved in the LGBT, Q community.
I didn't know that was a major.
Yeah, it was like a
focus
big
for
thing.
them.
Like, we're not gonna, we're gonna bring back somebody from that community to play this role. Yada yada yada. That's not who they ended up going with, as what's been reported. Is that Riverdale's Vanessa Morgan is being eyed to play the role. So
Interesting.
that's
Well,
a lot of shit that happened in 2 days.
Lot. Here's my thing, and this is just more from a plot driven perspective. So Batwoman opens with, because I only watched the first episode of that show. It was not for me. The first episode opens and they're like, Batman's been missing for X amount of time. I forget how long it is. And then Kate Kane happens upon her cousin Bruce Wayne's, hidden Batcave and like has the suit redesigned so she can be Batwoman. So what you're telling me is, in the course of however many years, not one, but 2 Bat people have gone missing in Gotham. Like, they're not dead. They've gone missing. If I live in Gotham and I hear that, I'm out. 100% out. Like, I'm like, all right, Batman's gone. I'm like, all right, something could have happened. They're like, oh, Batwoman's gone too? Yeah. Like, it's probably not safe to live here. I don't know why anyone does live in Gotham. Move to Metropolis where everything's safe. Ish.
Bullshit.
I'm talking about from street
Death of
crime.
Superman.
Yeah, I'm talking about street crime. Yeah, like, it's
but
different with,
if Superman's in Metropolis, then you have to worry about fucking.
Yeah, honestly,
aliens
I don't
coming
even
in,
know
so
where I'd
you're
want to
beat.
live.
You're gonna go Alabama.
Can we put
somewhere.
that on hold as a topic for next week? Are there any heroes any cities protected by heroes that are like safe to live in? Because I think the answer is no. I can't think of a single one where I'd be like, oh, okay, like, because even Coast City, where Green Lantern's from, like, normally nothing happens there, and then I think it was Parallax just came and, like, destroyed the entire thing to purposely drive Hal Jordan insane.
That's a good topic we should actually
Yeah,
discuss. actually like
I think
that
that's
one.
something to look into. I might, off the top of my head, I might kind of want to say Wakanda or Atlantis. I feel like
I was
Atlantis
gonna
is
say
under
Atlantis,
attack. Actually, you could throw Latveria in there. This is all right. So we're gonna table this though. This needs to be a topic for next week. I think.
I mean, Wakanda. I mean, if you watch the Black Panther movie, you're gonna say that there's no way that Wakanda's safe.
Well, that's all. This is something we got to bring up next week because I want to look into every single one and see like what invasions have happened.
Okay,
rank 'em,
next
stuff
week's
like
topic.
that.
There you go. But the issue with this is, okay, she's missing. Ruby Rose doesn't want to come back to play the part, so she's done. It's over unless they somehow get her to come back in season. But
Yeah, but you never know.
Is it a publicity stunt? Are they just doing, hey, we're going to write you off because you're miserable, give you like a year to think about it,
And then
we'll
come
say your
back.
character's just gone, and let's pray that you want to come back for season 3. Now season 3 rolls around. Now you got 2 Batwomans.
Well, if you
Now this is like, not to cut you off real quick,
sorry.
just to finish. This is now like Daredevil season 3?
when he gets replaced.
Yes,
What do you mean?
but Bullseye?
Yeah, but that was Daredevil was still there.
Well, what happens now if she comes back? Same thing. You know what
not
I'm saying?
quite. I mean, that was Bullseye was replacing Daredevil, and Daredevil beat him in a fight, and now we don't get any more Daredevil, which is awful.
I
love
don't
that
know.
show.
Rumor has it Netflix might be going season 4.
God, I would love that. But I would also love if it was just on Disney Plus so he could interact with others. Like, I'd love to see another character show up in that show, but that's besides the point for right now. Like,
Who?
God,
What show?
imagine like a Moon Knight team up with Daredevil, or even if I should be so lucky, a Spider-Man team up.
I don't think
Something
you'll
like
see
that'd be awesome. I don't think we'll see Spider-Man either, but Moon Knight I think is more realistic.
I could see that.
I'd love
Well,
to see Punisher come back again. There's a lot of street level characters I think could and should show up. Like if they had done Defenders right, which is another topic for another show.
Yeah, that's
They dropped the ball in that entire thing, other than Daredevil.
So then, what do you think happens? They Batwoman season 2 comes out. This Ryan Wilder chick's there. She's searching for, Kate Kane.
Yeah.
Then
which,
what?
who is she? How does she tie in? I think they kind of wrote themselves into a hole there. It would make more sense if someone who was already introduced came in, but obviously if Kate Kane's not Ruby Rose isn't coming back, I don't know how they could possibly do that. And also, I thought the main villain of the show had a direct tie to Ruby Rose, like their characters, Kate Kane and the main villain. I forget her name, White Rabbit or something like that. Some kind of.
I
rabbit.
couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it either. Like I said, I only watched the one episode, but I thought they had a pretty close blood tie. Like they might be sisters, something like that. So I feel like that kind of derails any of the plot points later, because then it's just.
Sounds like the new Black Widow storyline.
Which is that movie ever coming out?
And what's the release date on that supposed to be?
On
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
I think they pushed it back 1 billion times because of this.
Yeah, because of COVID.
The coronavirus. But yeah,
Which actually is something I was thinking about in my car on the way over here. I'm just going to suggest this while
go
Ant's
ahead.
looking that up. What do you think? Let's say we lived in the superhero world and this COVID pandemic happened. Are superheroes doing anything? Because there's not really crime.
I think that they would probably be. You haven't read The Boys? The Boys has a volume called Herogasm.
Oh yeah.
Volume 6. They literally, the superheroes and the villains get together. You got something for me, Ant?
Yep. Black Widow scheduled to be released in the U.S. on November 6th, 2020.
Wow, they really pushed that
They
back.
definitely pushed that back.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a summer
It was
release?
supposed
It was
to
a
be
May.
May?
May 2020.
Damn.
Dude, Ant, you're the man, bro.
I
So
know.
good having you.
That's nice to have you. Thank
That's what I'm
God.
here for.
But no, so The Boys, Herogasm. Read the volume. If you read The Boys, if you haven't seen the Amazon show, don't watch the Amazon show unless you read the actual whole entire series. It's over. It's great. It's by Garth Ennis.
Garth Ennis writes some.
Fucking
Be
fantastic
prepared, because he's a good writer, but he writes some mess.
It's dark
stuff.
So Herogasm is what I think would happen. It's when the villains and the heroes, they go to this secret little world and they just fuck and party, and that's it. There's no you're bad, you're good. They might mention it every now and then, and there's it's over.
That's wild.
It's like the once a year, and they all fly together there. They're all high fiving. They're all just
That's
doing
so
the thing,
random.
and it's good. So that's what I think that would happen if superheroes on the coronavirus right now. They would all be getting laid and fucking one another.
They would. You
That's-
don't think Batman would just be sitting on the couch like, Alfred? Anyway, is the bat signal up? I need something to do, Alfred.
He would not be joining the crew. He would
No, he wouldn't.
he'd be watching. He'd probably be watching from the Batcave.
Yeah,
make
just
sure
waiting.
everything's all right.
Yeah,
Maybe
just doing push-ups and stuff, still being a regular ass human being.
Let's see, who would he be jealous about?
Spider-Man.
Talia.
Like, hey,
He,
Talia,
he wants to know what she's doing.
Shoot her a text.
She's getting plowed out by Clayface, and you got a Catwoman. She's being all. Let's see who's Mr. Freeze and maybe Freeze and Cass. You have Poison Ivy.
Mr.
Who's
Freeze
probably who's going
comes
with
off on ice. Yeah, it's,
Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn are now a thing, and
yeah, they're doing their own. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like Batman would be very bored during this crisis.
he is in the Lego Batman movie, which I highly recommend everybody watching.
It's been a while since I watched it, but yeah, I might need to rewatch it.
But back to the topic that we way drifted off. since
Yeah,
we're
we
on
very
superheroes
much got
fucking.
off point.
When killing a character doesn't make sense, and when it does make sense, you have spoilers. So in Civil War II, I remember reading this that Hawkeye shoots Hulk dead.
Yeah.
And I remember when I read that, I was like, "Did I read that? Did that just happen?"
He kills Bruce Banner, which, thank God, I remembered his name. So I don't know what the hell was wrong with me a couple episodes ago when I couldn't remember Bruce Banner's name.
I thought about that the other day. And you know what? We said this last week. We said it again. Our math was wrong again on the release of something.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, we're not mathematicians.
I mean,
we're comic book readers.
okay,
God
fine.
damn it.
Fine. We're nerds. Let's be honest. But anyway, so that throws me off. I just want to go over a couple real fast. Judith from The Walking Dead. So if anyone hasn't read that, dies in like the first huge compendium. Lori's running with Judith. She gets shot by the governor. Bullet goes through the two of them. Lori falls, crushes Judith. Judith is like an infant, like 6 months old. Wolverine gets put in what I pretty much call goo.
Well, it was like
It was
liquid
goo.
adamantium, right?
It was
like, yeah,
weak.
it was-
Terrible writing.
Well, also, like, how are this many people able to melt adamantium all the time? You ever notice that? All these characters are like, oh, I've got adamantium grafted to my body. Like, I'm like, who's affording this? Who is supplying these people with the densest, hardest metal on the planet, melting it down? It's got to have a crazy high melting point. What are you even melting it in to begin with, and then applying it to someone's bones? Like, that is an entirely risky endeavor.
You don't think
can't
that
have
was
a huge-
poorly written?
What?
You don't think that was poorly written? You're going on a tangent about that. You don't think that was a weak ending
Oh,
to
it's
Wolverine?
a terrible ending to Wolverine. It's an absolutely terrible ending. I don't understand how someone's sitting in the room like, all right, what if he's in a bunch of adamantium and it melts over him like a cocoon? I'm like, why? Who can afford that though? Like, if you're gonna kill Wolverine, there's got to be a better way. Just literally drop him in acid.
That's not going to work either.
Why would that not work?
He gets run over by the Punisher in a fucking.
But that's not the same as acid. Like, he still
Bro.
has tissue left. If you drop him in hydrochloric acid,
That's
all it's gonna be left are his
dude, that's
bones.
happened before. I don't
Where
know what
where has that
bullshit.
happened? Where has that
I'll
happened?
find it.
And I'm gonna summon your powers here. Can you look up if Wolverine has ever gotten killed by acid?
The answer's no.
you.
He's only died in the death of Wolverine, where he gets put in goo. Look
No,
over
I'm sorry.
the
If he's
fucking.
ever, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. If he's ever gotten put in a vat of acid, because I'm gonna say there's an alternate book where he died that way. There's got to
that's-
be.
No way.
It's got to be.
When the Punisher runs him over, first of all, that's an awesome. Everyone go get Wolverine versus the Punisher. It has every time the Wolverine. And
I
the
feel
Punisher
so
fight.
bad for
Fucking
Wolverine in
awesome.
that book.
He gets run over by a freaking
Steamroller.
steamroller. Yeah. And he's
yeah,
only.
and he gets
but
his
he's only,
face shot off with the shotgun.
exactly.
Yeah, but it's not being
Bro,
dropped into a
dude,
vat of
you're out of your
acid
fucking
where
mind.
all
He
the
ha-
tissue on his body would disintegrate.
He
Like,
has
it's not
nothing.
the same as getting run over and shot. No, he still has actual tissue left to regenerate.
Bro, he gets
if he's
his
in
face-
acid, there's nothing. Yeah, it grows back. We've seen him do that before.
I'm telling you, I can picture it. There's a comic book cover where Wolverine has no face.
Right, but it's not. I'm saying if his body is completely submerged in a tank of acid, the tank of acid is filled with 10 feet, 10,000 gallons of acid, and Wolverine's dropped to the bottom, he's gonna melt. No Rick and Morty shenanigans. He's literally going to melt, and all that's gonna be left is his skeleton.
His skeleton isn't bones, bro.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's all that would be left would be his skeleton because it's just
And
the
then he's gonna
adamantium.
reheal.
He wouldn't reheal because there's no actual
He's
tissue
got
left.
something.
There's
He's
no-
got something.
So I found a site. It's 8 ways to kill Wolverine.
Oh
Ooh,
God, here we
I
go.
love
Number 4 is drown him in acid.
Thank you.
Fuck you.
It says, just like we can imagine a metal that can't be destroyed, let's imagine an acid that can eat through anything. Drop Wolverine in an acid bath, don't let him out. Acid dissolves his flesh faster than he can grow back. Eventually he eats away so much there's nothing left to heal.
Thank you.
Saying,
Fuck this
I
shit.
know what fanboys are thinking. The acid can't eat through Wolverine's skeleton. It's
Correct.
indestructible. So once he gets out of the acid, he just grows back from his bone marrow. His skeleton is indestructible, but it's not completely solid. It can't be. Bones serve an important purpose by creating blood cells in the marrow. If Wolverine's bones were completely sealed in adamantium, did I say that right? I'm not
Adamantium.
There you go, thanks.
No worries.
Then new blood cells would never escape into his bloodstream. No matter how quickly he heals, he'll never be able to replace his blood, leading to death.
And this is why Ant is the new MVP of the Yo What Up comic podcast. Let's
Wait,
go.
what's number one? What's the number one reason? Timeout. A nuclear bomb?
Number 1,
Yeah.
make Wolverine unpopular.
That's actually amazing.
It says the real reason he's so powerful is his fans want him to be the ultimate bad axe.
That's awesome.
That's really
That is-
amazing. I'm really glad you asked
I mean,
that question.
dude, that's why Batman wouldn't be liked.
Yeah.
That's how you kill Batman. Bro, there's nothing for me to do. I'm just sit here and drink wine and watch Pats all day. But no, so I mean, for me, like, Did they ever kill off a character? Right?
Um,
Probably not. Because they always come back.
There's got to be at least one or two good examples of people who haven't come back, but they tend to always screw it up and a few years later do it. You know, even if you have a really good dramatic death. Like I'm trying to think of someone who's really stayed
Well, after
dead.
in the comics, this is the weird thing. At the comics, after the death of Superman, they killed off. Apparently, which I've looked everywhere for this, and I cannot find this anywhere, unless it's in. I don't think it's in. It's definitely not in Babel. It's definitely not in. It's not in. What the fuck's what? Kingdom Come, but that's not even the same, even time frame, whatnot. But they said they killed off Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, and somebody else right after the death of Superman. I can't find that anywhere.
You know, I feel like that was just a thing that was going on in the '90s because I think that was one of the low points for comics a little bit because I know Marvel did something similar with the Onslaught saga where like 90% of the popular heroes died, and I think there was like Spider-Man, Daredevil, and the X-Men left, and everyone else was just like gone.
That also pretty much happens in Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, which I highly recommend everybody reading that. You haven't read that?
I haven't read that.
What?
I need to borrow it from you after this. We'll put it
Oh my god! How have you not read that?
I don't know.
You still have
I
my
just
other
never
book. You still have freaking.
Oh my god, the Apocalypse one.
Age of Apocalypse.
It's all words. I feel like I'm reading
It's
the
tough.
entire
It's
Tomb of Egypt.
It's
like,
a really hard read.
Yeah.
But I think the
I
hardest
need to dedicate
read,
some
the
time.
hardest read definitely is.
Infinity War?
No, I didn't think that was that bad. Characters Say Dead is
You're gonna say Rorschach?
in Watchmen.
Yeah, I think that's he came to my mind like right before this part too. Yeah.
That's a hard read.
Yeah, that's a rough one. It's a good story. It's just I almost feel like it would be a better novel than graphic novel sometimes because it's 99% words.
Yeah,
they
could have
not that I'm complaining about reading, but it's just when you're in the medium, it's supposed to be art.
Yeah. Well, they had that weird pirate storyline going away.
I hated that.
Which I actually didn't read. I have no idea what that was.
skipped it
fucking
every
skipped
single time. I know it has a purpose. I know there's a reason he put it in there. I just don't care. So
It's
I'm not
bad.
going to go back and read it. It's a lot. And like, I wasn't there for it.
No, I didn't. That was the one thing that pulled me out of that book. But he is probably the only character I think has been dead. Even in the Watchmen TV series, he's not in it. The only person that's in it is what the fuck's his
Night
name?
Owl?
No, he's they're older.
Oh, Manhattan Men?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't. I got to go back and watch it. I need to re-up my HBO subscription. I'm slacking here.
That's all right. No big deal. I got the HBO Max.
Oh,
I
you
got
got
I got the
the hookup? You
DC
got the
thing. If
hookup?
you know
There
that,
we go.
I got you. I got you covered. So, but maybe the only decent comic book kill that actually probably was done right was Jason Todd in Death in the Family.
No, but he comes back, and I feel like now it's just done to death because they did the movie Under the Red Hood, and it was like, who's the Red Hood? And it's like, oh, it's Jason Todd. Haha, I'm still alive.
And
Spoilers: Batman: Arkham Knight.
I was saying,
where it's
Arkham
like
Knight.
if you played the game, you're like, I'm pretty sure this is Jason Todd. And you'd be like, oh, I know where your weakness is in your armor. Like that's weird because only like Robin would know that.
I think
so
that was
maybe you're
Jason Acker. I think
Todd.
that was Jason Acker. Isn't that the actor's name?
What? Who played him?
Yeah.
Oh,
What,
possibly.
Jensen?
I'm not sure. Oh, Jensen Ackles
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think he was a voice in Under the Red Hood.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know. I think that, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess,
Yeah. Rorschach.
and the best thing is about that is he was only killed because the fans voted him to kill.
And there's some what's the word I'm looking for here? There's rumors that it was just people calling in over and over again that it might have been tampered with a little bit because they were just counting the number of times that this phone line, hotline or whatever got called.
Yeah.
And the way people voted. So you could just pre-program your phone, I guess, to like just dial in and like if you hated Jason Todd, you could just be like,
Well, again, this goes
kill him,
back.
kill him, kill him.
This goes back to what I said last week with Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. They mention that Robin is just dead. They don't tell you why. They don't tell you
which
how.
one, yeah.
But Jason Todd's character doesn't die until 89.
Yeah. I
And-
mean, if I had to speculate as to why Robin died, it could be the fact that, he's like a young teenager in primary colors with minimal protection. He's wearing short shorts the whole time. He probably got shot. So it's probably like, I don't know where Batman is, but I sure as hell see this kid.
He gets crushed. And first of all, time out. All right, hold the fuck on. He gets beaten in the head with a fucking crowbar. Okay?
And then the building explodes. That doesn't even kill him. That's the worst part.
The building explodes, but Batman still picks him up. If you're in a fucking building and it explodes, it's over.
Well,
See
also,
ya.
even beyond that, it's incredible to me that Batman was like, oh, that's exactly where he is. I know, because I'm the world's greatest detective. I'm going to move all this debris out of the way. I know exactly where you are. Like, it's not going to take me a week or anything. Like, he immediately found Jason Todd.
Well, he's a
A
little dumb.
warehouse blew up on top of him, and he immediately found him.
Yes. Yes, that's the thing. The warehouse, but like I said, Jason Todd, he's still intact.
Yeah, still intact.
I think
He
maybe
should've been all over the place.
cape was like a little like damaged,
Yeah.
but that was it. Go fucking figure. Okay, so moral of the story is no character's ever been killed off. Right.
I agree, other than maybe Rorschach. Spoilers.
Watchmen. Read the book. Skip the pirate shit. Which is again, maybe someone will do it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, one last thing. Maybe it's done. They're killing Deadshot. Spoiler.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Suicide Squad issue number 9. He's dying.
I also don't know if I
That
care.
was exactly what I wanted to say before. Is when they kill characters off, why are you naming the fucking story arc the death of
That's
Superman?
Yeah, I agree with that. I would love to see it as a surprise. Imagine reading a book and you're like, okay, Superman's going to pull something out of his ass and win. And you find out that him and Doomsday hit each other at the same time, connected blows, and they both died. Like, imagine how stunning that would be if you didn't know Superman died in that issue.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, okay, like something's going to happen next issue. He comes back and you're like, holy shit, they killed Superman. But I can also see where that's a major risk for the comic book company, because if people don't know he's coming back, comic book fans, you know, we're a very dedicated, loyal bunch. We're likely to riot. Like, if you read a book and Wolverine was just dead, you know, like dead, like got thrown into the sun, which is another way I would kill Wolverine, actually, if I had the ability. There's no way he's coming back from that, and there's no explanation as to why.
I get it. I mean, I don't like it when I would rather have the surprise.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm with you on that, but I understand why they don't do it at the same time.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, you figure if you watch the Death of Superman and if you read Death of Superman, when you read it, they don't bring him back for like a while.
Yeah.
I don't remember how long.
It's a while. Yeah,
People
I agree.
actually thought like, oh, he's dead. They're killing his guy. It was
Yeah.
like a big thing. But in the movie, spoiler at the end, he's just like floating around.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, he's like Jesus Christ. You got out. You came out again. Which I think they need to do more surprises. Like, or just make you wonder, will they come back? Like one of the big big things.
or
that
just
people,
maybe don't kill everyone. Like, you could make it worse than, like, you know what? Honestly, I didn't like it, but I thought it was a unique angle to take. Was in Civil War, the movie, when Rhodes gets hit by that rogue blast from Vision and he falls and he doesn't die. You're like, oh my God, is he dead? Is he alive? But he's paralyzed. There's a permanent consequence from that. And, it even plays in a bit later on in Endgame, because when he's out of his suit, he can't just get up and walk around and help. So I think that's something else that kind of should be explored. Like, other heavy-hitting options that maybe you don't kill the character off, but maybe something different happens. Maybe they're changed somehow, without being too cliche. I think there's other avenues that these writers could explore.
Well, I mean, and I think that kind of ties in, well when it comes to writing and different avenues, and like, even what ifs. We talking at the beginning of the show, we're here with what ifs. So, which we are going to talk about next week is what if Marvel heroes and DC heroes actually all killed. But, just something I want everyone to think about is, if you haven't read it, at the end of The Killing Joke, there's a gunshot.
I think he does. Oh, no, is it a gunshot or it's just a laughing stops? It's like one of the
it's a
laughter
gunshot.
ones. We might have to explore it. That's something we'll definitely go into deeper with the next one. I personally have a theory on that, but I'll save it for next week. I'm sure you do too. I think we're probably both on the same page, actually.
But there's also theories as who pulled the trigger.
I don't think it was a gunshot, though.
I thought it was a gunshot. I have the book upstairs.
We're gonna have to look that up.
we're
gonna have to. We might have to do a brief follow up to that later on. But I don't think it was a gunshot. But
we could bring
something
it.
we
could talk about.
There's a lot of comic books. It's easy to get confused by stuff.
Make a note for next week. But the last thing I want to talk about is what makes comic books hard for you to read, because there's a lot of things when it comes to writing a comic and a graphic novel. You have the writing font, the artwork, the wording, sometimes weird bubble text placement drives me fucking nuts.
Text. Yeah, that's a big one. For me, a lot of the time it can be artwork. There was one tie-in to a Captain America book I was reading that had I can't even say it was a bad artwork style, but it was very unique. I also found it very off-putting to the point that I couldn't get through the book. I thought the story was compelling, but I was like, I cannot do this
Because of the
at all.
artwork?
Yeah, the artwork was so bad. Like, if the art doesn't, or even sometimes if the art doesn't fit the story. Like, there's a style of art that I call folder art, for lack of a better word, because it's like, if you see Spider-Man drawn in the book, you're used to him a certain way. It's usually very detailed, very well done. And then if you're, like when you're a kid and you're getting your school supplies, you'll see Spider-Man on like a folder, and it's like, you're like, okay, that's Spider-Man, but the detail's not there. It's like someone just kind of like, whatever, I drew this, like, here it is, let's mass produce it. You know what I mean? That kind of quick, softer version. So if I'm reading a book and it has folder art, I can't really get into it, especially if it's a story that I'm supposed to be invested in. It's really tough to kind of say a story has a heavy tone or something serious is supposed to be happening, and you've got this very toned down, almost watered down style of artwork sometimes, where it's not bad, it's just it doesn't quite handle the same level of gravity as or gravitas, as the storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I 120% agree because there's actually some artwork that people swear by. Two books that come to mind right off the bat, obviously Batman related. Kingdom Come. The artwork in that is like
it's
insanely
beautiful. Yeah.
But it is kind of difficult sometimes to look at.
It's overwhelming. Yeah.
And the other one is Arkham Asylum by
that entire book is an acid trip by what's his face? I actually hate
Frank
him.
Miller?
No, it's not Frank
Grant
Miller.
Morrison.
It's a
There you
Grant
go.
Morrison.
Yeah.
I can't stand Grant
that
Morrison.
book. The thing that bothers me, I have trouble with, is the actual font.
No, I have a problem with the art. It's just, I feel like the walls are melting when I'm reading, which I understand is part of the general aesthetic. Like you're in an asylum, you're supposed to feel a little bit crazy. I appreciate the artistic endeavor. I just don't have the patience to get through that for an entire book because I feel like my eyes are bleeding.
I mean, it's a really good graphic novel, and if you can pull that, I don't remember the name of it. It's by Grant Morrison. It's
I
Arkham
think it
Asylum.
is Arkham Asylum.
It's called something.
Oh, really? It's like
weird.
Escape From or Into or something?
Yeah, but they actually, after you read that graphic novel, at the end of it, they have the whole thing typed out in script format, like Batman, and then it says what he says, like because it's so difficult to read. It's like this weird, scratchy. What do you got for me?
Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, isn't it called something?
A Serious House on Serious Earth.
There you go. That one is.
Wait, really? That's what Grant Morrison sat there and said, all right, it's Arkham Asylum. Not only is it a serious house, it's on a serious earth. That sounds like the worst movie tagline ever.
The book is good. It's well worth the read if you can get through it. The ending of it is not what I thought. I actually finished reading that and I was like, what the fuck did I just read? So I had to actually to Wikipedia. It's like, I'm not going to spoil the ending of it at all because I think it's a really, really good book.
This is the one thing we're not going to spoil.
We're not going to talk about it. No, I think everyone should definitely try to get through it. If you can't, I don't know, maybe on YouTube someone will do it in depth, talk about it. I won't because I'm still trying to figure it out myself. But like stuff like that, or sometimes when you have like the text bubbles, and I get that they'll block it out. And every comic book has little image blocks, and sometimes you have like the one bubble on the top, and you have another one that's in like a different quadrant.
Oh yeah, and you're trying to like which way do I go?
Yeah.
And you've almost got to like pre-read the first sentence because you don't want to ruin it for yourself. You're like, does that flow in? Or, like, I've done that before and messed stuff up too. You know what tough is? I don't know if you read any manga. Like I personally have a few that I follow. Like I follow the My Hero Academia manga every week.
The Superman guy.
Yeah, well that's just it's amazing. I love that. It might be a little bit too light for you sometimes, but it's good.
Too light?
Yeah, too light. It's not like super dark. Like if you want a really dark manga, like you'd probably like something like Tokyo Ghoul. I personally am a big fan of. Do you have Tokyo Ghoul?
Is it read from right to left or left to right?
Yeah, well that's the point I was going to bring up about manga is that it's read in the opposite direction.
Yeah, fuck
so
that.
you start on the right and go to and it's like that sometimes will trip me up. Like I might need to take some time if I'm going from a comic book to a manga. I'm like I got to remember like I'm reading it the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean I think that those are all things that definitely and there's no Wikipedia on how to read a comic book. There's no comic book for dummies. I mean, you pretty much got to figure it out. And then sometimes like when there's like a group of people, and like the bubbles just all over the place, and you're just like, where, why, what?
Sometimes I do like that with the apps though. If you're reading on an app, sometimes
I'll give you
sometimes it's cool because it'll show you exactly where to go. Which what a shitty job that must be. Imagine that's your job. You just got to zoom in, like, all right, this is where someone's got to read, like, you know, copy that, add it to the app. Like, zoom in on the next part, copy that, add it to the app. That's got to be super frustrating.
See, I don't like reading them like that because to me, a lot of reading comic books is about the fucking pictures and the artwork.
I'm 100%
so
with
when
you.
I'm
I
just
want to
reading,
absorb
you
the
know,
whole thing.
Yeah, when I'm just reading words sometimes, and I get like when you're done, they'll zoom out and show you the whole picture, and you're
Yeah.
like, cool, but it's
But
not
sometimes
the
you
same
lose
thing.
some of the effect. You know what I mean? If someone's got like a badass entrance, you're
Yeah.
like, oh wait, who said? Oh, okay, now I get it. Like that's
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I don't like too when they sometimes give guys accents. Like when script writing, you know, if someone has like an accent, Italian accent, you don't write it to sound like an Italian.
Yes.
You know,
Well, I
you
mean,
say-
yeah, I know what you mean. There's times they do it just so you know. It's like they over embellish just to really be like, this guy's not from here.
Yeah.
You know, like like Gambit sometimes you'll be reading like something Gambit says, you're like, what? Like, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think
You'll be
that
like half French, yeah.
that's sometimes what throws me off. It's just the fact of like, okay, what are they speaking of? I get it. They're using weird dialogue. Fuck it. Whatever. It is what it is. So, I mean, sometimes I'm just like, you know, when this goes to print, who looks at this and says this is smart?
Yeah,
Who the
I
fuck
think
knows?
yeah, some of that's got to fall through the cracks. I mean, it's definitely got to be a tough operation to be like, all right, I've got the story, you draw all this, and then you, other guy, you come in and just put the words in somewhere, but don't fuck up the art. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's it's not an easy thing to do.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. So, but what do we read in next week? What do we want to do next week?
I don't know. We could leave that up to the fans to put in the comments. My personal suggestion, well, we do need to do a DC book, but my suggestion was actually going to be for Wolverine Enemy of the State, which is
Dude,
a
that
huge
was-
undertaking.
bro, I
but
had
it's
that
such
written.
a good way. Did you really have that
Yeah,
written?
that was what I was gonna say.
All
Let's
right,
pick
so
next week.
So unless someone comes up with something better in the comics, our next week's going to be Wolverine Enemy of the State, which is a great read, one of my favorite books of all time.
I will give you that. I remember when you gave me that was great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And one thing I almost forgot about, our shenanigans engine of the week.
Here we go.
This time goes out to Reed Richards, built an anti-Galactus suit, obviously to fight Galactus, but he ends up using it to fight some kind of interdimensional giant robot that kind of looks like Captain America, but that's besides the point, because this goddamn thing costs, and he quotes it at one point, that I've got to finish this fight quickly because it costs $1 billion per second to run. My reaction when reading that was, turn it the fuck off. Turn it off right now. The Hulk exists somewhere. You don't need that. Like, $1 billion a second? Imagine, like, if he's like, oh, I don't know where that guy went, and he looks to the right and he looks to the left. Like, that's like $3 billion that you just burned trying to figure out where the bad guy is. Like, turn it off. You don't need that.
You know who wouldn't waste their money like that?
Don't say Batman.
Bruce
Don't say Batman.
motherfucking
Because you know
Wayne.
how
Thank
much the
you, everybody,
Batmobile
once
cost.
again for
Hold
listening.
on. Don't cut this out. Do you know how much the Batmobile cost in Arkham Knight? And this is major spoilers if you haven't beaten the game. At one point, it's like, this Batmobile cost $1 billion, Alfred. And it gets blown up. And you're like, oh, shit, that sucks, Bruce. $1 billion gone. And he gets above ground. It's like, call in the second Batmobile. I'm like, why would you build two? How much money did your parents leave? Your dad was a doctor. Come on. He spent $2 billion. Like, you're not Iron Man. Build an Iron Man suit at that point. Blast people from the sky. What are you doing when you have a jet building 2 Batmobiles?
I have a question. How much is Spider-Man's cloth?
Probably like
Fuck yourself.
$4.
Once
He's
again,
got
thank you everyone
superpowers.
for listening. You can find us at What Up Comics on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, Instagram at YMINerdOfficial, Facebook.com/YMINerd, YouTube.com/a bunch of weird ass fucking symbols, because we are not, once again, verified yet.
Please subscribe. Like and subscribe. Comment. Anything you say in the comments, we're going to read. We're going to bring up for next week. So please do. And God forbid I don't think we missed anything, but if we did miss anything in the last post, we'll bring it up in the next post. So please keep liking and commenting. I promise we'll shout you out.
We 100% will. Once again, I'm Cameron James. This is Matt Ferreira, our new man, the Italian himself, Mr. Anthony Valenti, right over there. Until next time, we're out.